Hello guys, and welcome to a new WARNO video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I have for you Game 2 of a best of 5 between Mix90 and Tmanplays in the grand final of the Division 1 playoffs of the WARNO League. Today they are playing on Airport Duel. And on our left in the blue team we have Mix90 playing with the 8th Infantry. And on our right in the red team, we have Tmanplays playing with the 24th Infantry. Both of these are US divisions. So a little bit of a US wargaming going on today. And it's going to be really interesting. I can't help but look at the divisions once again and see that TMAN has landed on a very, very favourable division. The 24th he showed he was very good at in the semi-finals against Dark Neutron, using the Strike Eagles to great effect on this map, something that he is very, very good at. Meanwhile, Mix90 picking the 8th, and I can't really see how the 8th is going to be that good on this map. Now, the 8th in this build still had access to their German units, so you can see that Mix90 is placing down the Jäger here. But still, it's not one of the best sort of forward deploy divisions, and I feel like a good forward deploy division on this map is very important, followed up by decent armor. So that's why stuff like the first UK is quite often picked on maps like this, or even the second UK, but the second UK is almost always banned in these tournaments, so that's probably why we're not seeing it throughout. Anyway, we are off, and things are currently 1-0 for Tmanplays, so Mick's going to be looking for a win this time around. There is over $100 on the line based on who wins. $230 for the winner. I think it's 231 exactly for the winner of the WARNO League, and 115 for second place. So both of these players are going to be trying extremely hard, and Mix here leading with the Jäger. He's leading with air of rifles, AH-1F Cobra. He's got Stinger. He's got some military police with M67 recoilless. And he's got the MUTCP to cap on the top side. But T-Man, starting with 2 Phantom 2s, coming in, will be able to take down the F-16 Fighting Falcon, but does not manage to take down either of the Black Hawks. So the Black Hawks are going to be able to get into position and drop off their infantry unopposed. Meanwhile, AH-1F has moved forward from T-Man. Snipers have gone into position in the high rise. Stinger now coming up with the Engineer Dragons, and this time Toad 2s. So you can see that T-Man has adjusted the ITOs to Toad 2s this time around. In the semi-final he used ITOs instead of Toad 2s because he was playing against First UK, but now he's playing against an American division. He's going to bring Toad 2s because the American armor is going to be a little bit more heavy. So an interesting adjustment for sure. Sniper taking shots to the Black Hawk. Black Hawk's trying to hit the M151 in the meantime. But Mix90 here just using this to scout, which is pretty smart actually. If he could actually use the Black Hawk to kill the sniper, that would be awesome. But yeah, the initial engagements kind of inconsequential really. T-Man taking down the F-16 was nice, but Mix90 has still managed to get himself into a decent position here. The air of rifles are forward deployed into Foxtrot, so that's worked out nicely for him. Now it's going to be really on T-Man to take back the ground that he's just lost. So I didn't really appreciate the Black Hawk play from Mix90, so good job on him doing that. But here comes the bombing strike from the Phantom 2. And that is going to take the Jaegers down a peg up against these engineers. Stinger did manage to get one shot on target here. So Phantom 2 half health on the way out. Will take a little while to recover. But as all of these transports start to be sold, we'll see another significant batch of forces on their way to the front line. All the while, the initial engagement between these engineers and the air rifles going steadily in favour of T-Man. There is M60 on the field, and this M60 can provide really good fire support. It does have decent HE. It also has 2 machine guns if it can get in range with them. So the engineers slowly being pinned down, and the air rifles very grateful for that help, I imagine. Yeah, you can see here Mix just hovering the Black Hawk over the road so that he can see if anything is trying to flank. But off to a relatively slow start. Yeah, as I mentioned, as things start to get sold, all of these transports go back. All of the income, like that's 20 points apiece for each of those Jeeps, plus the M35s, another 20 points apiece. You can just start buying in more and more units. M1 IP already on its way to the center of the map, and the MUT CP going to be heading that direction as well. More than likely the M1 IP will be used to offensively push into this sector. But the engineers here nicely unloaded early. I like how careful TMAN is with his trucks. You know, there's a lot of players would just unload at position into the trees here, and the aero rifles would just destroy the truck before they unload. And then you'd be like, oh, that sucks, and then bring in another unit. But TMAN, rightfully so, unloading early, assuming that there would be something in that tree line, and he was correct. And that way his engineers can get a good engagement against the aero rifles without being killed for free. Phantom 2 comes in, kills off the Jäger Auftaler in the middle of the airfield. Nicely done. AH-1F going to be brought up. That will be able to kill the military police very quickly. Although the rocket's currently focusing on the M60, not the best target for those rockets. Nice bombing strike on the bottom side. Sniper spots the Jäger Auftaler. The Jäger Auftaler try and engage the sniper, but don't do so in time to kill it off. And the Phantom 2 gets the bombing strike. Nicely done. Engineers winning against the aero rifles here. Aero rifles down to 4 men. The engineers actually doing a great job in that situation. Have now been stunned though. Might allow the aero rifles to catch up. One of the M60s going down there, it is indeed. But the M1 IP now moving into position. Now Mixed 90, he has managed to get 2 Abrams here. One of them slowly being chipped by the Dragon Squad. But the M1 IP has at least managed to capture the sector. That's going to stop Mix actually from taking the lead in conquest points. Oh, the Black Hawk being moved over to engage the sniper. Phantom 2 not going to let that happen. And the MUT CP moving forwards. Mix wants that back. The main thing here for Mix is he wants to make sure that he gets ahead in conquest points of TMAN. Because what that will do is force TMAN to push into him at all times. And that's kind of how you want to play in general. When you have your units dug in like this and you force people into you, it's a lot easier for them to make mistakes and get side-shot by your defending units. Particularly on a wide open map like Airport, you could have like a tank over here, a tank here, and then like a tank over here. And then if T-Man starts pushing in the center of all of that, then he opens himself up for side shots. Oh, nice cheeky strafe there. Using the Vulcan to help kill off that Stinger squad. How rude. And this Phantom 2 also helping finish off the aero rifles. The Eyehawk failing to hit all 3 of its missiles. I don't know what it is about T-Man, but I never see anyone land AA against him. Like, it always seems that way. It's like the AA of his opponents are always like just missing. I don't know. Maybe that's just like some sort of weird thing in tournaments. That's just like cast a bias, I don't know. Regardless, Fighting Falcon, failing to kill the Apache. Phantom 2, easy kill. Phantom 2 also coming in for the strafe onto the Jag. The the Jaegers, sorry, not the Jaguar. The Jaegers. And that's going to be a little bit of damage done there, nothing too crazy. Trouble with these Phantom 2s is it's only 4 227 kilogram bombs. So the payload's not like huge. And therefore, unless all bombs hit directly on target, you're not really going to kill an infantry squad in one pass. This M1IP trying to push forwards, but the recoilless smashing the front armour. He's going to have to fall that back. Get it fixed up with the M35 supply. Now, Tman, I wouldn't say necessarily has to be in a rush right now. You know, he's already behind on conquest points, so that's not going to change anytime soon. So what he needs to do is just kind of build up a significant force that he can then push back into the sector and, you know, kind of take it in one fell swoop rather than like kind of doing some weird trading back and forth. These military police will certainly help engage the mechanized rifles. Here comes the first of the Strike Eagles. Here we go. Goodbye, M1 Abrams. this unit, so good. 350 points. Just killed an M1 Abrams. Right, this M1 Abrams 185 points. If it kills another M1 Abrams, the Strike Eagles paid itself off. And that's another lovely kill from the Phantom 2. These Phantom 2s have actually been doing pretty well indeed. Oh, the Strike Eagle. Oh, is he fire positioning the Chaparral? Oh, that's just... Oh, come on, T-Man. Come on. Give Mix a break. That is rude. Killing the Chaparral with the Strike Eagle. Nicely done. The Ihawk again failing to land a missile on target. A big problem with those Strike Eagles, and the reason they're so effective, is because they do have a lot of ECM. And so it just makes things incredibly difficult to manage. The Phantom, oh, it managed to drop a couple of bombs, so it does kill one of the Stinger squads. Not sure it was quite worth suiciding for, though. T-Man may be getting a little bit overconfident, diving his planes for AA. It will catch up to him eventually. And that is the first of the planes to go down to that strategy. That being said, he does still have another Strike Eagle up his sleeve, and he keeps like wasting the Stingers and killing the Stingers with these suicide aircraft. Then the Strike Eagles will be pretty free to do whatever they want. Oh, the UH-60A supply a little bit too close for comfort there. On the bottom side, Bradleys have come in and will be looking to push into Foxtrot. Military police actually getting the better of the mechanized rifles quite handily. And the TOW 2 meanwhile chipping the M1A1. Now T-Man using a jeep instead of his tank to push in here. And here we come with another bomber. Takes out the second mechanized rifle. Can the Ihawk get the job done? No, of course it can't. Another 3 missiles fired. I think only 1 hit. The supply got shot down that was resupplying it, so there's no more missiles for that Ihawk for the time being. And now here comes the Strike Eagle. And he's going to fire position the Ihawk. Ihawk can't do anything about it. And as long as T-Man just keeps killing the AA, Mix is just in a bad position. Smoke won't save you from laser guided bombs. Strike Eagle scores another kill. And that is 250 points, I believe, for an M1A1. So, not great. M270 MLRS not hitting the mark. And even if it had, the M1IP would have still been there to capture. And you can just see how the Strike Eagles slowly but surely take care of the enemy heavy forces. It just makes it so hard to get value out of your tanks when a Strike Eagle's hanging about all the time. And obviously Mix 90, he's investing in a significant amount into his AA, like the Chaparral, the Ihawk, the bunch of Stingers everywhere. But on a map like Airport, because it's very open, It's difficult to put your AA in effective positions without it being spotted, and when it's spotted, that makes it vulnerable to aircraft. So for example, in this case, the Eyehawk shouldn't have really been there without a transport, so that as soon as it fired, he moves it, because otherwise it's likely that it's going to get artied, it's going to get like hit by the Strike Eagle, and then you're in for a bad time. So yeah, M1 IP does take out the enemy M1. Mech rifles trying to hold the line here. The last remaining unit protecting the command jeep. All the while, Mix-90 has been getting the extra conquest points in his favour, but TMAN is slowly, once again, getting the lead through just purely kills, right? He's making very, very good trades. And he still has the Strike Eagles up his sleeve. Here comes the Phantom 2s. They're going to be looking for the Tow Cobras. The Phantoms will come out at the distance there. Both of them actually survived the initial strike from the Phantom 2s. Here comes the Strike Eagle. Hello M1A1. Goodbye M1A1. And the Stinger is failing to hit enough shots on target. Phantoms coming around for another run onto these Tow Cobras. Even landed, they aren't safe against the Vulcan guns of the Phantoms. Strike Eagle. Very risky second strike here. It only takes one Stinger to die in that situation. But this time around he manages to get away with it. He gets away with it again. Jaeger Aufklärer. Hop in to the laser guided bombs. The AH-1F Cobras. Making short work of the rest of the infantry. Everything just being slowly but surely and methodically torn apart. TMAN, absolute masterclass right now with the 24th Infantry on this map. AH-1F going down to the Phantom 2s. No reply from Mix-90, as the F-16s have already been taken out for the most part. I think if he only had one card of F-16 fighters, that's pretty much all he has for the whole game. Whereas you can see that T-Man, he has like, I think 4 Phantoms and the Eagles and the Strike Eagles. So, and the HE bombers. I mean, he might have switched it up, but yeah. Either way, he has a lot of air assets, and he's been making great use of them as the M1 IP captures this sector and this sector. The Apache going to be able to clean up this infantry. No AA on this bottom side anymore. Mix looking pretty light across the board. This investment into the M270 is a bit sus. It would be great if he managed to, you know, kill a tank with it that was already damaged, but the difficulty with bringing in the M270 is that you've then got to bring in the supply to resupply it after it's fired once. And like over time, if you had like a fob or something, then it might be worth it, which is why like rocket artillery and stuff is really good in team games. But in a 1v1, you just can't really justify bringing in a fob at the start of the game. It's going to put you too far behind. So then you have to start investing in like more like M35 supplies and stuff. And these M35 supplies at 500 supply apiece are never going to be enough to like fully resupply an M270 efficiently. So that's the trouble you run into when you're investing into heavy rocket artillery like that in a 1v1. The other thing is unit density is a lot smaller and a lot less in a 1 versus 1, which makes rocket artillery, which is good for saturating a target, a lot less effective overall. So Mick's going to be struggling to find value out of the M270 throughout. The Jaegers here getting dogpiled by the fire teams. The Apache, the Bradley. They are going down this mech rifle. Missed most of its law, M72 law shots onto the Bradley, so that's getting taken out with the help of the sniper even. Now nothing to help defend on this bottom side. F111F coming in with the laser guided bomb, but it completely whiffs. And now the Phantom 2 manages to shoot it down. Beautiful stuff once again. These two Phantom 2s hanging about. I think the reason, sorry about the camera, I think the reason that he brought in the Phantom 2s on the left hand side is because he's sort of expecting a retaliatory strike. And also potentially helicopters to counter his push, but seeing neither. Now the Strike Eagle coming in. Is he fire positioning the Stinger? Okay. Yeah. He's going to come round. He's probably going to fire position the other one. Yep. There goes the second Stinger. And that's no more AA on the top side for Mix 90. And you know what? There's a second Strike Eagle in the deck, I imagine. Mix 90's had enough of that. He's out for the count in game 2 of this best of 5. And that is a brutal, brutal kill death if I ever saw one. Wow. 4,900 kills to 695 losses. That is... I don't even know how... It's incredible that TMAN manages to do this to people. Bear in mind that Mix 90 is really not a bad player. You know, Mix 90 is a very good player. But I feel like Mix 90's playstyle is being perfectly countered by T-Man's playstyle. T-Man is all about the trades, right? He doesn't mind being necessarily behind early on. As long as he can put units in the right places at the right times to get those kills, he's happy. Whereas Mix, he's going in for these big plays, like he's going in for the start there with all of the arrow rifles and the Blackhawks and stuff. But then it just kind of fell flat. And he got himself into a good position. I don't know. What do you do in that scenario? I feel like he wasn't necessarily in a bad position. He got his M1 Abrams in a good time. Like the timings for the first like 5 to 10 minutes of that game for Mix 90 were fine. But then, like, what happens in there? What happened? I'm trying to think. Like, the Chaparral got spotted and killed because he was lazy on moving his AA. Then the same happened to the Eyehawk. Now, the Eyehawk in this game was absolutely atrocious. It didn't really hit a thing. But maybe he could have invested in a second Eyehawk early on. I mean, when you're playing against 24th, you've always got to assume Strike Eagles. And they're always going to be the thing that blows up your heavy armor. So as soon as you're using heavy armor, you should be investing in adequate AA to at least trade the Strike Eagle. Now, it's almost never going to be able to prevent yourself from losing a tank when the laser guided bombs are off and they're going towards a target. There ain't no stopping them. But as long as you can trade that Strike Eagle, you're okay. The trouble is, when that Strike Eagle was coming in and getting free kills over and over and over again, you just can't get value back. You can't. And the other thing that I completely negated to talk about, it was how well the Phantoms were doing. The 8th just had nothing to show against the air power of the 24th in this one. The F-16s just went down so easily against the Phantom 2s. The Phantom 2s were strafing the Stingers even. The HE bombs were actually being used really, really effectively. This TOW 2 got so much work done in the center of the airfield. Wow. Yeah, Strike Eagle, M1 Abrams, M1A1 Abrams, Chaparral pays itself off. This one, Eyehawk, M1A1 pays itself off. Yeah. And then Mix and his kills in comparison. It was so clean. That was so clean. Like I said, it was a masterclass from the 24th there on that map. Maybe in the next tournament, Mix will ban it against them. We'll see. We'll see. Wow. Okay, well, we're going to be moving on to game 3 of this best of 5 next. But that is it for now. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.